buck here. I just changed the oil on my 1993 Jeep Wrangler. I did it with full-synthetic 10W30 Castrol Edge motor oil. Let's see here, my mileage. My mileage is 182,654. Now, to do this, it's actually pretty straightforward. Plug on the back of the oil pan there in the dead center of the screen, kind of pointing down at 4 o'clock, is a 16 millimeter bolt. Just pull that out with the washer and the oil comes out. Then I'll pop the cap on this just so there's a little bit of airflow from the top to help it breathe as it's draining. And then I put a Boss perolator oil filter on there. It says it's good for 10,000 miles, so the Castrol Edge oil says it's good for 10 to 15,000 miles, so I'll probably try to run about 10, then change this oil out. Now it takes, mine took 5 3/4 quarts to get to the full line on the dipstick. Again, I used this Castrol Edge 10W30 full synthetic motor oil. This is the first time I've switched from conventional to synthetic, so we'll see how this goes. If you find this information useful, just like and subscribe. I try to put up content with my wife. She's got a Ford Edge, I got this Jeep, I got a Dodge pickup. And then work on other stuff too, water pumps, water heaters. And so, I don't know, kind of getting to that point where there's so much information out there, there's really not an excuse not to do some of this stuff yourself. So all you really need is tools. Oh yeah, I should probably mention that too. If you have any troubles with the oil filter, if you're like looking at how to do this yourself or something, if you have any issues with your oil filter, what you can do is take a pair of channel locks and just open those suckers up as wide as you can and kind of just pinch down on the filter. Pair of channel locks like that. Open those suckers wide, and it actually gets wide enough where you can pinch the end of the filter so you can start turning it. Just make sure you're turning it the right way and not tightening it on. Yeah, and then when you're putting the oil filter back on, just make sure you put a little bit of oil on the gasket to kind of help it not fry onto your engine block. And then one final note is just tightening it back on by hand. You don't need to get carried away using the channel locks or a oil filter wrench to cinch that thing on. Just tighten it by hand as tight as you can get it. Not to the point where you're like forcing it. It's kind of one of those things you kind of got to learn the touch of, but you want to get it tight where it's snug, and then yeah, maybe just a little bit more, but not like as tight as like grip you can use to put it on, because you'll probably get to the point where you're actually pinching and crushing the filter yourself before you're like, you can get it as tight as you possibly can get it with your grip.